I appreciate the question and the intrigue. I have not made a decision, but I will tell you I am fully, sincerely focused on these midterms, and I know we're going to be working together on it.
I want to create this context. So it appears as though American foreign policy is hyper-focused on the Middle East.
Yeah.
Not to suggest that the Middle East is not important, but that there is not significant focus on our relationship with Africa,
right,
our relationship with Latin America and the Caribbean, while China is on the move.
Yep.
In Africa in a very significant way, has increased its investments there. What should American foreign policy, and how do you convince those, I'll call it beltway types, that American foreign policy should be much more expansive than a hyper-focus on the Middle East? How do you convince, and should it be that, or is the Middle East so pivotal to everything that that is where our focus needs to remain?
So well, let me start with this. As Vice President of the United States, I met with over 150 world leaders, presidents, prime ministers, chancellors, and kings. Many of them multiple times, and developed relationships with them. And I will say that one of the concerns that I've had for quite some time, even before the 24 election, is I worry, and it kind of pains me, to be honest with you. Do the American people writ large understand how important we are to the rest of the world? I don't mean the government, I mean the people. Because part of my experience has shown me that the relationship between nations, yes, it has something to do with the relationship between those leaders, but it also has something to do with the relationship perceived by the people of those nations with the others. The whole history of African Americans in the United States is well known in many parts of the world, and the plight and the struggle has been one of those examples of other nations knowing who we are and finding some level of identification with the need for the people to have to fight for their rights and then see success when they organize and speak up. This president, this person in the White House right now has, first of all, he is the first president of the United States, Democrat or Republican, who has openly thumbed his nose at the importance of alliances. Imperfect though many of them have been, but this one openly thumbs his nose at the importance of alliances. The other thing he openly does is thumb his nose at the notion that America should be a protector of international rules and norms. He is an isolationist with a supposed America First agenda, who, because of his failure to understand America's role, imperfect though we may be, has accomplished two things. He has accomplished making America seem less reliable as a partner, and he has accomplished that America now has less authority than it ever did to weigh in on global matters. You mentioned the continent of Africa, and I was so honored when you and Michelle came as part of the delegation that I took to the continent, and Ghana being the place where we were hosted with a state dinner. So as vice president, one of the areas of focus for me in international policy was the continent of Africa, for a number of reasons, including the median age on the continent of Africa is 18. It is estimated by 2050, 1 in 4 people occupying space on Mother Earth will be on the continent of Africa.
Yes.
So my point as vice president was trying to then change the narrative around our relationship with the continent in a way that, yes, we would preserve whatever we had historically done that was about support for natural disasters, for disease, AIDS, HIV/AIDS being another example, but also that we would shift to understanding the importance of partnerships with African nations. And we raised billions of dollars from American corporations to invest in those partnerships. Of course, what we have seen now, because it is a matter of perspective, we can, as we have learned with this administration, take nothing for granted in terms of how we have always played in the world. When they, it's so unbelievable that they got rid of USAID. And you saw the recent numbers. As many as, 700,000 people have died because of withdrawing American aid for humanitarian purposes on that continent and around the world.
USAID funded the purchase of American agricultural products for countries all over the world. So when USAID shuts down, they hurt farmers, they're growers and producers, and it's so significant. How we now have a war in Iran that the United States Congress has not authorized. How do we prevent presidents from engaging in unauthorized wars in the future so that this experience does not become precedent-setting for future presidents?
Let me be clear,
just engage in foreign conflicts at whim and at will that the Congress has not authorized nor funded. How do you stop this?
Well, let me just be on the record. I would have opposed it even if they had approved this war. Mm-hmm. And here's why. There has been no articulation of the end game.
Right.
There has been, he's now talking about this deal. The deal would basically be what Barack Obama got, that he pulled us out of. And, I think that it is important to not be a conspiracist, but at the same time, you can listen to what people are saying and wonder, is it just a full-on distraction from the things he can't handle or has not handled? But this war is a war of choice that this president got into with Israel, with no clear national security issue for us. If you look at it in terms of what was happening with the nuclear program, and there are now courageous U.S. service members who have died. Mm-hmm. They're asking for hundreds of billions of dollars to pay for this war. Meanwhile, you have people in America who are losing their health care every day, cannot afford their housing, cannot afford health care, cannot afford child care. And so, yes, it is about congressional authorization, but it is also about how do you use the resources and power of the United States of America, our taxpayers and our government, in a way that best meets the needs of the people, yes, in terms of their security first and foremost always, but their well-being as a whole. This war is an example of action that is contrary to all of the above.
Let me ask you another question on a little bit of different vein. In your view, rank the top 3 most effective presidents in American history.
Oh, Mark, don't make me do that.
Oh, you can turn the question around and ask me.
It was actually interesting. I couldn't sleep last night, and I was watching NPR. Was doing did anybody watch a whole thing on FDR? Did you watch it? And it was, of course, his 3 terms in office, and it was interesting to, and of course the role of his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, and he did some good things. Yeah. In fact, it was he who talked about the expansion of the Supreme Court, and then he got ferocious blowback for that. But he did good. It was Social Security. It was, when I think about what he did in terms of investing in the people during dire times and talking about the role and responsibility of government, that it should not just be about the benevolence of community organizations or just interpersonal relationships, that the government has a role. I think that he was a very important president. He appreciated that government has, in my mind, 3 essential functions, which is public health, public safety, and public education. I will credit, give me more time to really think about this. I credit, Kennedy, of course, in terms of what he laid the groundwork for, and then Johnson followed up on.
Of course.
Right? Around having the ability, but that was, again, an example of the inside-outside game. Because the reason that happened is because the pressure was on from the outside to appeal to the conscience of the people on the inside.
Yes.
And so I don't think that there's been any great president who has been without that kind of pressure as well. And then, of course, Barack Obama.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and what he did with the Affordable Care Act, among many things, but in particular, if we had one issue that has been ailing America for generations, which is a health care system that has failed anyone other than the rich, and addressing that the way that he did and took a lot of heat for it, I think he's one of the greatest presidents.
Well, you named 3, and I agree with those 3, right? Particularly 20th century. FDR, and you can never, ever compare what Kennedy and Johnson, the Kennedy-Johnson administration, was able to accomplish in so many ways. And, of course, Barack Obama, I think, not only his accomplishments, but the fact that he never embarrassed us. He never, ever embarrassed us. He operated with dignity and class and put up. He never sweat. No, you could never. The man never was sweated. He never flinched when even the haters got loud and wrong with him. So I guess the next question related to that, because you've had a chance to serve in the White House, what's the profile of a great president? What are the characteristics that are really required to do the job and do it effectively? What really does it take? Because people may look at it from the outside. You have a chance to look at it both from the outside and the inside and serve on the inside. What are the characteristics? I think people are really thinking as they think ahead. What is the profile? What are the characteristics? Sometimes what we see is not what we see.
Yeah.
What do you think?
One of the, I think, most important qualities of a leader who can make decisions that impact other people is the kind of leader who is more concerned with looking at and to the people than looking in the mirror. Which is about understanding it is not about you. It is about service. And are you listening to the people to hear them as opposed to tell them what they need? I think that's critically important. And there are plenty of elected leaders who will talk about going on a listening tour. And what they really mean is listen to me. So it's about listening to the people, which is an extension also of a very important character trait that any president should have and any leader should have, which is empathy, which is the ability to have at least some level of curiosity, if not concern, about the well-being of other people, and then take it upon oneself to do something about it. There is the quality that is everything that flows from the concept of integrity, which includes speaking the truth and being honest with the people. And sometimes that will result in being unpopular, but in my experience in elected office, it is better to weather those moments when you are unpopular than it is to lose the respect and trust of the people.
Thank you. I'm not asking you to make any news here.
That was so clearly like a lead up to something. Come on, Michelle.
But you have many friends and supporters in this room, and in the Urban League movement. So I'll probably just ask this. We're all clock watching, date watching, time watching. When do you want to come back and talk to us?
Anytime, this is home to me. But I just do want to stress, 28 will not matter if we don't win 26. And I was sharing with some of the friends here. I've been traveling the country since I've been. I guess one might think of me as being currently unemployed. So I've had a little time. And I've been spending a lot of time in the South in particular, and especially now with this Calais decision. Just to revisit that point, what they are doing to cheat. Some 19 states have done redistricting. And there are many more who didn't have to do redistricting because they already had cut the lines in a way that excluded blocks of voters. And this administration and the people who are leading in a lot of these places, they know that the people are not stupid. The people see that they're paying too much for gas and groceries and housing and childcare. They know on merit that they don't have a whole lot to be proud of. And so they know that if the people vote, it is very likely that they may vote them out of office. And so they are cheating. And they are not without power. So we have to counteract that. And part of it is to remind, and this is what the Urban League does so well in every community around our country. We have to remind the people that the power is with them. We have to remind them that this is not a time to feel hopelessness, that if you feel powerless, you will be powerless. If you feel powerful, you will be powerful. And we are powerful. And right now, there is so much at stake in these midterms. We don't have the court to look out for the needs about equality and justice and fairness and freedom. We don't have an executive branch who is doing much beyond attacking all those rights. But while we can hold on to a democracy, we do have that third branch, which is Congress, which if we can win even one half of it, we can have some of the guardrails to stop the pain. And if we're only focused on 28, we're losing a lot of folks who need to be seen and dare I say, protected from the attacks that we are witnessing. And so I appreciate the question and the intrigue. I have not made a decision, but I will tell you, I am fully, sincerely focused on these midterms, and I know we're going to be working together on it, and I thank everybody here for that.
So all I will say is we appreciate that, and we just want you to know that when you've got some things to tell us, we want to be the first to know. And we want to convene a special meeting, the Urban League movement, so you can let us know what your thinking is. We really appreciate your presence here today, your hard work. We are focused on the midterms. We are encouraging our people to vote with vengeance, with passion, with conviction, to send a very, very strong message. We have work to do. There has to be the investment in the ground game necessary to get out the vote, and we are encouraging that. But we appreciate your voice, and you're welcome into any of our Urban League communities any of our Urban League affiliates at any time you want and you wish.
Thank you.
So when
Thank
you travel,
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you,
our doors are open.
thank you.
Our folks want to hear because you want to